Hi, I'm Betty Banjack, and this is Look Who's Cooking. And today I have a very special guest, and her name is Megan Kratz. And Megan is going to make, and let me first mention, she's from East Norton, correct? I think.
Correct.
And she lives here with her husband and her child, new child, 4 months old. That's a new child. And she's going to cook for us today one of her favorite dishes. And I think a lot of people like this. They just think it's too much mess, too much time to make, but it really isn't. And she's going to make the eggplant parmesan, right?
That's right.
Yeah, okay, I almost said veal parmesan a lot of people make.
I like veal parmesan too.
Yeah.
This is eggplant parmesan. And what you first want to do is make sure that you are peeling this about 1/4 of an inch apart because you want to keep a little bit of skin on.
Is that for color? Or?
It's for color, it's for presentation, but since we're going to bread it, it's not so much for that, but it's for the flavor. There's a little extra flavor that I like once I have a little bit of extra skin on.
You were trying to find a better...
I was trying to find a better peeler but this seems to be working.
Our peeler disappeared here,
Let's see here.
which isn't unusual. And Megan brought her own, which is doing okay. Do you make this often according to, and you freeze a lot?
I do. I actually, and you can do the same, is that when you make this, you can make it with 2 large eggplants. This is kind of on the smaller side, but I like large eggplants because then you make so much, you can freeze it and have it for leftovers. So just like this.
Well, before the show, we figured out that you could probably make this whole dish for about $8.
That's true.
If, you know, you had to buy a
$8.
whole thing of cheese and a whole thing, but you could split it down and it would cost about $8, right? Mm-hmm. So what are you going to do now? You're slicing it.
So now as I slice it, there's different ways that you can slice it, and I'm sure you've had eggplant parmesan before. Sometimes they slice it in a long fashion here.
Yeah.
I like it like this because it's so much easier to eat after you fry it. Some people like to eat it when it's just fried. Some people like to eat it with the cheese on top and after you go and bake it. But you're going to see as the show goes along
Have you ever
just
used
how
a white
delicious.
eggplant with this?
I haven't, but I have heard that it is good just because
I don't know. I mean, you know, I'm not a big fancier of eggplant.
Okay.
I like a lot of things, almost everything, and eggplant is one of the things that I'll eat, but I'd rather eat something else.
Well, wait, you have to taste this.
Okay, I'll taste it, then I'll pass
So before
judgment.
you go ahead and
That's true.
pass your judgment, okay, here we go.
Be careful. You know, I always find if you have a hard time when you get to the end of something, if you stick a fork in there a little, you hold on to the fork.
That's true.
And
Takes too much time for me.
Takes too much time, but still, you have all your fingers.
Okay, next we're going to take the eggs. I usually use 2 eggs if I'm going to use a small eggplant like I had here. So just 2 will work. You want to take a fork and you want to whisk it, just like so.
These are nice bowls.
Just
They're sort of utility bowls.
Yeah, well, they're your regular Corel, but I do like them. They're easy to clean, too.
Oh, are they?
Next, we want to make sure that we have our pan heated.
Here, allow me.
Thank you.
That's my job.
So you want to make
guess
sure that you
what?
have your pan heating up with the garlic in it before you actually put the eggplant in. There we go. Little mishap.
I had to turn the wrong way.
Now, I probably would put in a cup. If the pan was a little bit bigger, I might put in a cup of this oil, but I like to just have a nice little thick layer underneath. Not so much of a deep frying, but like a little bit of a fry. So
A little fry.
a little fry.
As opposed
If you can
to
see here,
a
a
short
little fry,
fry.
I'm saying you want to cover the top of it with just a
Yeah.
tiny bit more of a layer. Now we take an eggplant, 1 piece here. We're going to dip it on one side of the egg. We're going to dip it on the other side of the egg, like so. And I happen to get my fingers dirty all of the time. Make sure you wash,
That's okay.
obviously.
We have towels.
That's okay. My husband, he calls me, my maiden name is Cesario. I'm Italian, and he just calls me Cesario hands, Cesario fingers all the time because every time
Do
he
you want a
comes home.
plate to put those on before you put them in the frying pan?
Actually, no, I throw them right in, and you'll see
Oh.
it actually gets easier as it goes along. I'm going to put this heat up a little bit higher,
Yeah.
just like so. Now you want to take a teaspoon of garlic. I love the chopped garlic. Chopped garlic is absolutely my favorite, so that you don't have to waste time in using a piece of garlic to go ahead and chop. But it's up to you and whatever you prefer.
Some people I know do that on their own. You know, they buy the garlic, they peel it all, they chop it, and make their own like that. But I cheat sheet. I buy that a lot.
I know. My mother-in-law, she does that, and she chops it. She likes it better, but I like it a little bit more simple.
Your mother-in-law's not Italian, is she?
She's not. She's actually Irish and German.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm going to take this eggplant, and I just love the smell of it, and
Yeah.
all of your senses with cooking. I think the look and the smell is delicious.
That's important. I think the look of it is very important. It's all in presentation, then you eat it.
Right. I agree, but just make sure when you're using this, I want to say, you want to put it on high, and when you are cooking this eggplant, you want to make sure that you cook it 3 minutes on one side and 3 minutes on the other. So just about a total of 6 minutes.
It does smell very nice.
Doesn't it smell delicious? I absolutely love this. And it reminds me of my grandma.
Oh, yeah, she made it?
She did. And you're always smelling fried something with garlic, you know. when you
Fried
grow
bread, fried crumbs, that's about it. Thing.
And I love it. If you can see here, some of the garlic, it's starting to brown.
But you don't want to burn it.
Well,
You didn't dip it in the egg.
I didn't dip it in the egg.
You don't
thank
want to
you.
burn the garlic, so it tastes terrible. Trust me. You must have never burnt garlic.
You know what? I have burnt garlic, and I actually like the way that it tastes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now that we have it on high here, we're going to stick with just the 4 in the pan. I may put it on a little bit in between the medium and the high. We
need
want to
this?
get it so that it's
Oh, you have
brown.
one.
I actually brought one here,
Okay.
but that one might work because it's a little bit smaller. Thank you. So I've got my little Cesario fingers here.
Now, but I think eggplant Parmesan is sort of worldwide anymore. It's not just Italian. Everybody seems to make it.
I would agree so. I think more veal, but the
Oh,
eggplant.
they make the veal. The chicken Parmesan is wonderful, too.
Yeah,
I really like that.
I do, but this is cheaper.
A lot cheaper, especially if you're a vegetarian, too. You
Yes.
can really make a wonderful meal for your vegetarian friends. Now, you said you're not.
I'm not vegetarian, no, but I do enjoy cooking with this. You can serve this with, and it's depending upon if you're watching your health, you're watching your carbs. You want to serve this with a nice salad with lots of different greens in there. Actually, this is, I think it's a little less on this pan than 3 minutes. But you see how it's getting brown? That's when you know that the side is done, just as it's getting brown. So
That
let's
it will.
just kind
Hope
of,
we don't set off the smoke alarm.
yeah, I hope not either. I could turn this down a little bit.
And I teach a cooking class at the Colonnade in Schwenksville, where I work for ladies that are average about 85 years old. And
Okay.
the kitchen we have is really like a tea kitchen to make tea and have coffee and all. But we've been doing heavy-duty cooking, and we've had the fire department out. More often than not, I'm not allowed to saute or fry anymore in the class. Or if I do, I got to go somewhere else and do it, you know, and bring it out.
Goodness.
But the fire company, they're not real happy about us, so we have to please them since they're our protectors.
Right. So how many times have the fire department
About
been
3.
out? Oh. Well, I
Okay,
hope we
what
don't
do
have to have the fire department here today.
I hope not. There's a lot more to get out of here than there is out of the Colonnade if something happens.
So while this is cooking, you want to just make sure that you have a little pan here. When you take it out, you're not going to put it in your pan that you're going to cook it in. What you're going to do is you're going to put it on paper towels. So the paper towels absorb the olive oil. That's very important. So you want to make sure that it's not too oily when you go to bake it. That's an important factor. We don't want our food to be too oily. But like I was saying earlier, that you can serve this with a salad. You can serve it if you want to roast up some peppers, if you want to fry some peppers. You can do a nice side of pasta with it. My husband and I sometimes, well, we do like to watch our carbs, so we do like a nice big salad with the eggplant parm.
That's good. I don't know if you noticed, I haven't stood up at all during this whole show, and the reason is the difference in Megan and my height, and you can't see my head. You need to get her head in, so I decided I would just lean here on my favorite stool, so we wouldn't look too different, or that you'd see both of us at the same time.
Well, I always have that problem, and
I don't have that problem when I'm alone. It's when I'm with somebody else that people seem to notice.
And the same for me is being short. I have the same problem, and the noticing of my height with others.
Nice.
Doesn't this look beautiful? Now, if you can see this here, we're going to allow the paper towel to absorb. You like the taste of that?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I'm eating the gook.
The gook is the burnt garlic.
No, it's not. I haven't.
You don't
I'm
think
eating
so?
breading.
Okay. What we're doing here is we're just going to allow it to absorb in the paper towel.
Okay.
Just like so. And I would obviously be cooking more of this here today. Since we only have a half hour, I'm not going to cook everything, but I'm just going to give you the basic idea of what it's going to look like when you put it inside the pan. So
Okay. This would have a double layer then?
I would do a double layer with this, yes. And I would spread it out, and you'll see when I go to place it in there, and I'll explain to you what it is that I would do.
My favorite Corningware. I always loved this. For years, that's all the pots and pans I had, was Corning.
It's beautiful. It is
Then
my favorite as well.
I decided to spring and get real pans that I could put in the oven like this. But I never liked them as much as the Corning.
Right.
And that wasn't a commercial. Okay, what are we going to do next here?
Are you plugging Corningware? Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is just, you can take a fork, you want to just place it in like so. Doesn't it smell delicious?
Mm-hmm.
It smells awesome. Okay.
I'm going to make it fit for you.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going to take Parmesan cheese. You can pick up Parmesan cheese at any place, wherever you shop. You know, I shop at ShopRite. You can get it at Gennardi's, wherever. And you want to take Parmesan cheese, and you want to just kind of saturate it in that Parmesan cheese. And it's depending upon your flavor and what you like. I love cheese.
I do too. I like this kind of cheese, but I like Romano. And I buy it in the store, you know, in the big little containers and spoon it over.
Yeah, you can use Romano. Absolutely. This was just kind of what the recipe
It's all
called
personal
for.
choice now.
Exactly, exactly. Now, a friend of mine likes to use a mozzarella cheese, and when she makes this, so she will use it over top, and she'll actually grate it. So we've got our Parmesan here, but you also want to use mozzarella. You also, so before you put on the mozzarella, you have to put on the sauce, and any kind of sauce you can use.
Would you recommend it as spaghetti sauce type thing, or just tomatoes, or?
You can use anything. If you have your own homemade recipe, you can use your own homemade recipe.
Yeah, that would be good.
I know sometimes my mom and my dad, they'll make a homemade Italian sauce, and if I get lucky, I'll get to freeze a little bit of it and throw it out. But me personally, I'm like quick, easy, you know, with the baby at home. I just really want to pull out the old ragu. I love traditional style ragu. That's my
Everybody
personal.
has their favorite.
Everyone has their favorite, yeah, and there's lots of others. Just a little bit of sauce, and again, the sauce amount, I'm talking to you, I don't want to tell you how to put on the sauce if you want to use a cup or a half a cup. This is all preference. And that's the best thing I think about cooking in itself, is if you can read directions, you can do it. But I like to cook with all of my senses. I like to use my eyes, my ears, and my nose, smelling and looking and feeling and seeing. And this is, to me, what I know is going to taste delicious.
So this is what you like. I have cheese. I like cheese.
Yes. So I did the Parmesan. You saw that. And now I'm going to do my mozzarella on top.
Now you're connected to the community college.
Yes.
Montgomery County Community College.
Montgomery County Community College. This is my 5th year teaching at Montgomery County Community College. And when I first started teaching at the college, I taught an intro to acting course. and it's in the continuing education department, so it ran for 4 weeks. And after
That's night school, right?
It is. It's,
Yeah.
it's an evening class. It's on Wednesday nights, 6:30 to 9:30. And I absolutely, I enjoy it. I love acting, and acting is within my background. My background is also in teaching. And I started to teach after I had the intro to class. They wanted more information on acting courses, so I went out and I did an advanced acting class. I wrote it up, and I'm now teaching a commercial class and a film class at the
You know
College.
what I just heard about on television yesterday? Industrial musicals. Have you heard about them? Where like an industrial banquet, not a banquet, some kind of trade show and all. They actually go out and pay and have songs written to fit their industry, and they're evidently very popular, and very big stars make them and all. And it just struck me funny that they do that. I don't know. What could do with this?
Well, with this here, we are going to preheat your oven to 400, and then you're going to place it in your oven. What you want to do is you also want to cover it with foil. I like to cover mine with foil, and you would cook it for about 15 minutes.
Is that all?
On 400? Yeah, it's not.
Well, there's no meat or anything in there, huh?
No, there is no meat in here, and but you could always have a meat sauce if you want to make a meat sauce with it, or make a meatball.
A nice bolognese sauce with that would be great. With a little bolognese is a meat sauce, you know, and it's thick, a thick meat sauce.
So here we want to cover it up.
You see, only 15 minutes.
It's only 15 minutes, on 400 for 15 minutes.
Well, since we have it, whoops, I'm sorry. What would you do if you had more to put? Would you layer this up?
I would layer it up.
Okay, you want to fry some more?
Sure,
We'll
I'll
do
fry
that
some more and
first,
show you what we'll do.
Sure.
Absolutely. Let's do so.
All the way down first.
But you see what I'm talking about when I say it is so easy? And
All the way down. That way.
It is so easy, it is so quick. Now when you're doing it, you want to add a little bit more oil into your pan here. And even though that burnt garlic is there, I don't worry about it. I've never had a problem with anybody complaining about the burnt garlic when they taste it.
Maybe you were just fortunate and never burnt your garlic.
I've burnt my garlic before. I love it. I kind of like burnt garlic. My grandmom used to burn her garlic. I guess you could, if you don't like burnt garlic, you could always take it out of the pan and clean out the pan, but again, I said...
you can leave it in and do it. I just meant, some people, when you really burn it, it has a bitter taste. I'm not saying it's even burnt now, it's just...
Right. Yeah, it probably would taste better if it wasn't burnt, but like again, I'm quick and easy.
Yeah.
You know, I want to make it
one.
as simple as possible, especially if you have kids running around, and or you have wash happening and other things that are going on. Make it as easy and as simple, quick and easy. Throwing it in there. Do you see how easy it is? I'm just doing this, and people do think that it's a big, long, drawn-out process, and it really doesn't have to be, especially if you have a large stove. You can have like 2 or 3 of these pans going at the same time.
Here's your...
Thank you. I seem to have messy hands.
Why don't you continue to fry that, and I'll get the one out of the oven, okay?
Okay. The magic of TV. Not quite ready yet. Again, you want to make sure that this is burnt.
Here we have the one. Whoa, look at that.
This is the finished product, and it is absolutely delicious.
Well,
Would you like
I'll
to taste
try
it? You have to try it, okay? Absolutely.
I'll get my fork. You want a fork?
Oh, I just wanted to cut a little piece for you so you can get a nice...
I cut it on the side. Very nice. Now, when I say I can't tell it's eggplant, you really can't. But the thing that I don't understand, a lot of people, when they do their eggplant, they take their, they wash it. Not wash it, they squeeze it.
They wash it and they squeeze it?
No, they squeeze it. Then if they wash it, they squeeze all the liquid out.
Oh, this
You
eggplant,
don't do that,
I didn't,
do you?
you know, this eggplant didn't have anything to really squeeze out. Feel
No,
this.
yes, it does. All eggplant is really wet. No, I guess not.
That one didn't.
It's a bitter, they say it's bitter if you don't do that. I don't, maybe that's why I always had my eggplant. I'm going to take one of these that way, and I didn't care for it. I don't know. No. Just put it in here. Just want to taste it.
And like I said, I really like to make a lot of them so I can freeze them and do them all at once. It's a lot easier. You have something you can just take out of the freezer, you let it defrost, and you put it back in the oven on 400 for about 10 minutes.
Are they almost done? I don't want to start the...
Yep, these are done. And you place them right on top like so. And you just grab it with a fork. This one seemed to burn a little bit too much. You wouldn't want it to be that burnt. But these ones are nice, the 3 there. And again, you want to get your Parmesan cheese and put on just as much as you like. And again, I like to use a lot of cheese. And get your sauce, just like so, to your preference. And your mozzarella cheese. We need cheese.
We need cheese.
All right.
We've had some bad weather this year, so it took a while for Megan to make it here because we kept postponing it, and then we could, oh, it's okay, the school was closed, then we, back and forth, so we've been going through, and when it snowed again this weekend, I thought, oh, no.
Right.
It turned out. So you're going to cover this?
So we would just cover this up. And since we already preheated our oven to 400.
400, right?
400.
Okay.
And for 15 minutes, you want to put this in your oven.
Okay.
And you take it out and you let it sit.
And it's all gone.
And it's all gone.
Yeah, that quick.
And let me just say, if after you're taking this out of the oven and you realize that you do want to freeze it because you're not going to eat it all, then I would actually suggest you don't even put it in the oven. You would, as soon as you fry it, you want to let it cool off and just put it in the freezer. That way when you take it out and you defrost it, you can put it back in the oven.
A little foil pan maybe, or just foil?
You can actually, you can put it in the freezer in this.
Yeah, but if you decide that you want to eat some of it.
Oh, if you want to eat some of it, I would use 2 different pans.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to save half of what you made. That's what I think.
Oh, okay.
I
in
got a
one
little
dish, I
confused
see.
there with myself. So, when did you're not, are you from the area?
I am. I am from East Norriton.
Oh, you are from East Norriton,
Yes.
and you came back.
I came back. I never left.
Oh, you never left.
I went to college at Westchester, but I did live away at college, and came back here.
I think. And your husband is from the area?
My husband is also from the area. He did go to Norristown High School.
You said you met when you were 11.
We did meet when we were 11. We met at Mermaid Swim Club.
I remember that. I don't know if they're still around, but I remember.
Is
it?
Yeah, it's really, they're building on. They're doing these water slides at Mermaid. It's a lot of fun. I went there this summer. I was actually pregnant this summer. I didn't get to go on the water slide, so I was really, upset.
A little next year, next summer when your daughter is, how old? 4 months, she'll be.
In the summertime, she'll be about like 9, 10 months.
Yeah,
it'll
so
be
that'll
exciting.
be nice with her. Like any proud mother, I said something about her child before, and she whipped out the pictures, and we saw that she is a very adorable little girl. So she had a Christmas picture and her baby picture. She's only 4 months old, so she's sort of a new baby, in the family. This is your first child?
This is our first child, yes, and she's also the first granddaughter on both sides.
Granddaughter. What about, is there grandboys?
There are, on my side of the family, we have 6 nephews.
Oh.
And there's no nieces. So we don't have any girls on my side. On my husband's side, it is the first grandchild.
Oh,
So
uh-oh.
she
This
is,
kid
she's
is
loved.
going to be princess.
She is loved. She's
And
taken
she has
care
an
of.
unusual name. It's
It's Sheila.
Sheila, but it's spelled different.
Sheila Erin. It's a Celtic Gaelic name.
But it's spelled a little different than the
It is.
Sheila I grew up with. So
It's Sheelagh.
one of these
And it-
newfangled names. That
And
came
when
out.
you spell it out, it's beautiful the way that it looks.
It is nice. I did see it. Well, I guess we're going to have to go.
Okay.
And I'm really glad you were able to come over today, you know, and
Me
cook.
too. Thankfully, we had good
Great.
weather.
Everyone will really like this stuff. And I want to thank you and for being patient. I mean, we had a long process of getting here only because of the weather, and we
You're
don't want
welcome.
that. So this is Bette Banjack and Megan Kratz. I almost said Sheila. I almost said your daughter's name. Look who's cooking. We'll see you real soon now. Bye.
Bye.